Hello. We're going to talk about herbs today. We're going to have an herbal talk. I don't know if you are a beginner using herbs or if you are pretty seasoned using herbs, using them in your daily living, drinking tea, taking tinctures, maybe even supplements made from herbs. I just want to talk about herbal actions. What do these herbs do once they get into your body? So do they make you go to the bathroom? Do they make you, or let me just say the technical terms. Are they diuretics? Do they make you release water? Do they, are they hepatic? Do they help your liver? Or are they emmenagogues? Do they help the female hormones and uterus, uterine tonics and things like that? So today we're going to talk about herbal actions, and the herbal action that we are going to talk about today is anti-inflammatory. Okay, so what is inflammation? Inflammation is the body's response to infection or some type of trauma going on in the body, and when the body is unbalanced, you can get some inflammation in some areas of your body. Inflammation can cause pressure, pain, and even some discomforts in just about any area of the body. Some over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medicines that we all know and use, is aspirin, ibuprofen, things like Advil, Midol for cramps. Women use that, and Aleve, which is naproxen. So some of the side effects that you can have from anti-inflammatory medication, even over-the-counter ones, even though that these side effects may be very minimal, they might not happen. They hardly ever happen at all in rare cases. Could be even more fluid retention, which you're trying to get rid of in the first place, and then stomach pain, because sometimes your stomach is too sensitive to these anti-inflammatory medicines, and then skin irritation. Oh my gosh, if you already have things like eczema, or dry skin, if you're allergic to ibuprofen or anti-inflammatory medication, could really just be irritating. You don't want to. Yeah. So we're going to talk about herbal actions, some herbs that have anti-inflammatory properties. And the way that you can get accurate information on your herbs is to do your own research. I recommend looking in medical journals and also looking on PubMed. PubMed shows you the latest clinical trials. You can look up. I would recommend not looking up any clinical trials more than 5 years, because after 5 years, I mean, you can if you want to, but I would rather stay relevant and fresh than going back to the 60s and 70s looking for old data. Because if you do that, then maybe you can do some self experimentation, like try it out on yourself, so that it becomes new and relevant to you in your situations. If you have some inflammation in your body, you can try it on yourself. Okay. And although these herbs have anti-inflammatory properties, they also have a lot of other things that they do, like for example, licorice. Licorice is an anti-inflammatory herb, but the herbs may have different properties, so you want to do your research so that you can know which. And anti-inflammatory herbs are assisting herbs in their own, okay? Um, Anti-inflammatory herbs relieve forms of edema, and they relieve pain and discomfort. They're good for the circulatory system, the blood vessels, for example, digestive system, as stomach ulcers. People get those. You could use anti-inflammatory herbs to help with stomach ulcers and hemorrhoids too. Could work if they're astringent herbs. We'll talk about that at a later date. Astringent and you know the urinary tract. The anti-inflammatory herbs can help with UTIs. In the musculoskeletal system, you can use anti-inflammatory herbs for arthritic pains. And then for the nervous system, anti-inflammatory agents will assist in getting you to calm down. So I would say an anti-inflammatory herb for the nerves would be like St. John's wort and valerian. Valerian. And then for the skin, we have inflammation on the skin, whether it's rosacea or eczema. Anti-inflammatory herbs can come into play with those. Now we're going to talk about, because I know people like essential oils these days. Essential oils are wonderful, but I have an affinity for my whole herbs, and I have a belief that if the action of a whole plant is always more than the action of any specific constituent chemical. Okay, because when you extract the oil from a plant, you're getting a concentrate of many different constituents. And true enough, they may help you, but a concentration of a certain constituent could hurt you. Those are strong medicines, and if you don't know what you're doing, it could hurt you. So you want to do your full research. Now, there are several plants that excrete an oil that contains constituents that you're not going to get with the whole plant, like chamomile. Chamomile oil has a constituent in it that is anti-inflammatory that does not come out in the whole plant. It doesn't come out in the flowers or the plant. So you would have to get the oil. And that species of chamomile is Matricaria recutita. I will put the name at the bottom so you understand what I'm talking about. I have a hard time with these Latin names. And then calendula. I know people have heard about that. Calendula officinalis is that. Calendula looks like this in dried form. This is my calendula in dried form. I'll put up a picture of what those look like fresh too. Okay. And then I have some chamomile. I think this is a German chamomile or maybe a Roman chamomile. I'm not sure. I just got it from the herbal store. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what you're getting. So you want to do your research and you want to go to reputable herbal shops so that you can know the species name. Because like with lavender, there's so many species of lavender, but only one or two are relaxants. The rest are stimulants. If you heard about the lawsuit that a big company that makes baby products went through with their lavender formula, it was actually made with a stimulant lavender and not the relaxant lavender. It's got to be careful with what you're using. And also another one that has a constituent in it that comes out in the oil is St. John's wort or Hypertium perforatum. Hyperidium, Hyperitum perforatum. I think I got that right. Okay. So that is a little bit to go different on. Properties of the herb that helps with different systems. It includes like the salicylic properties that help the musculoskeletal system, and that would be herbs like wintergreen or cramp bark, can help with those because it's a salicylic acid is what aspirin is. And then white willow bark in the herbal world, that is what aspirin comes from. But the only thing about white willow bark won't thin your blood like aspirin will. Aspirin for some reason thins your blood, so white willow bark won't do that. And then there's some herbs with steroids in them, and that includes licorice. Licorice, that would work for the autoimmune system. So if you have autoimmune things going on, I guess that's like lupus and RA. What else is all the autoimmune? You want to look into anti-inflammatory herbs that have steroid properties in them, and I would recommend just doing your research on that and going on PubMed, looking in medical journals, seeing what has been looked at recently in clinical trials, see what science has to say about it, because that is important, because we have that luxury in the present day of science. So it's up to us in the herbal community to get together and start communicating these things to the scientific community so that we can get these things in clinical trials and get them tested so that people can start enjoying herbs confidently. We got to be confident about what we're putting into our bodies. But some of these things we know from history because they studied it a long time ago. So the things that you use every day, turmeric, ginger, lemon, chamomile. How do we know that chamomile tea relaxes you? Because when people were drinking it, they were falling asleep, relaxing, stuff like that. So some of the stuff we can already rely on, but when we get into the more serious herbs. Okay, so that's my spiel, a little spiel about anti-inflammatory herbs. I hope you enjoy my videos. Thank you for your support. If you could like this video and subscribe to my channel down below for more content, leave questions. What would you like to know about? What would you like for me to talk about? I would certainly appreciate it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time when we talk about some more healthy body formulas.